mother knows what she's doing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, this is an official message. Lady Demeter, this is for you.
What's all of this, young Zagreus? A message of some sort for me indeed. I can't decipher it, although it bears the marks of my two foster brothers here. And, well, it seems we'd better compare notes.
That scoundrel Theseus! Apparently he earned himself some sort of winsome prize for all his blustering there in Elysium. Though I'm quite certain that no matter what he and his bull friend have at their disposal, you've the power to defeat them utterly. So go do it. Surely I'll get word.
The slightly offered you his blessing, it would seem. He can be rather boastful and belligerent, exhibiting the most unattractive manners of your father and Lord Zeus alike.
You must know I often hunger for destruction, almost uncontrollably at that. Though I am finding you are able to sate that appetite of mine.
Caught me on a break again.
I have to tell you, Sisyphus, sometimes I wish I knew more about your past. You must have been a great king.
Well, the thing is that I wasn't, Highness. And that's not modesty from me, all right? All behind me now, and I'd appreciate it if we left it at that.
I hear you, sir. Though whatever you did in your mortal days, you've since more than paid for it, I'm sure. Wait, is that why you're still here in Tartarus? Because you think you deserve this?
It's more like this is where I belong, where my path has taken me, you know? Here in the underworld, you can't entirely escape your past, and yet it's like you get another life to live, with all the wisdom that you picked up along the way.
Hope I didn't keep you waiting, ladies.
Good job, Red Blood. You made it all this way. But I have got to send you back to Daddy now. Nothing personal.
Wish you could join me, Electo. Want me to put in a good word with Father next time so you can come visit us at the house yourself?
Oh, you know, I'd rather have my eyes put out, but thanks for offering. Now, time to head on home.
Let's hustle, shall we, boss? Honestly, I don't know how the rest of you can stand it, trudging about like you don't have someplace to be.
Here on Olympus is the opposite of everything about that lifeless squalor you reside in, Zagreus. Fight on and come to us.
I know that toll.
Did you miss me, Zagreus? What say we go take care of business here just like we used to, Zag? What say we get things started?
Sounds good.
Ah, just a stranger passing through, I see.
Well, worm, come fight us, I suppose, and take fullest advantage of the havoc that you sowed. We are no team. We're merely two combatants, simultaneously booked to be here now.
King, I think you're overreacting here. Try to be reasonable, and be more considerate about my point of view. Don't think I'm asking for too much.
You're asking the impossible of me. But let us fight. And let us lose, I'm sure. Because if we are not a team, what are we then, Asterius?
Vigilant Cerberus decides to look the other way this once.
I can go. Think you can beat me this time, Father?
It seems our realm has many weaknesses. I shall deal with them shortly, then. Cerberus.
Despite having transcended past the confines of the underworld yet again, Prince Zagreus proves utterly unable to get past this point.
Again?
Everyone, he's back! Oh, it's you. Just come on in. You're on the list.
See you, Hypnos.
I have to tell you something, lad. When Thanatos returned to seek you out, I was very concerned. Not just for you, either. But you've since patched things up.
I think so. I hope so. It was complicated for a while there, but I think things are clearer for us now. Not just in the moment, but in retrospect. I'm not making any sense.
Oh, on the contrary, I think I know exactly what you mean. I don't know Thanatos particularly well. It wasn't he who brought me here, you see. And he was always very busy, like your father. But he always struck me as a decent sort.
He is.
I saw you voided the old pact between Orpheus and your father. So now he gets to see his wife from time to time?
He does, and I did then. I think we can stand to see a little less of him if it means he can be happier for the remainder of eternity.
You really need to learn to stop meddling in others' affairs. Did either of them even ask your help? I can't imagine Orpheus did, and I'm guessing his wife's feelings were complicated too, from what I know of the circumstances of their final meeting.
What? Orpheus is my mate then, and I came to know his muse Eurydice as well. They still had feelings for each other, but with no way to communicate.
So you decided to step in. I think my instincts on the subject are just not the same as yours. I know your intentions were in the right place, but you know what? Forget it.
Sam, wait. Hey, Orpheus, you're back. How was your trip? I hope it was all right.
It was more than all right, my friend. Why, it was positively inspirational. But I've returned as promised to this house. My love is there, whilst my responsibilities are here.
You sound despondent again, mate. You must wish you were there right now. I'm sorry you had to come all the way back.
Oh, on the contrary, Zagreus. It dawned upon me that having some distance between my responsibilities and my domestic life, why, it is not so bad. Besides, Charon makes travel to and fro quite simple for me, really.
Great to hear it. I can only imagine. Hey, Orpheus, mate. I have something good for you right here. Ambrosia, all the way from the surface. I want you to have it.
Ah, but this is splendid, Zagreus. And I must say, apart from my Eurydice, I've never felt as strong a bond of kinship as with you.
You're too kind. Nyx, I've come to know the god of swiftness, Hermes, though it seems to me he doesn't work directly with the others on Olympus. Do you know him well?
Lord Hermes is a point of contact, yes. Among Olympians, he works the closest with our operations here, and aids with shepherding the souls of the departed to our gates. Accept his help, for he is faithful to our cause.
I get it. Thank you, Nyx. What do you think of all the lounge decor there, Meg? Looking a little better these days, wouldn't you say?
You know, it isn't bad. Though I have heard the strangest thing, that you're responsible for all of this. I couldn't understand why you would even bother, honestly.
Well, it's a popular locale for off-duty underworld officers to take a load off between shifts, and so I figure least I could do is pitch in and make the place a little better than I left it, right?
How very selfless of you, Zagreus. Soon, doubtless, it'll be your portrait hanging on that wall back there.
Oh, now, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Meg.
Hey, I saw you in Thanatos recently, Prince. You too? If you don't mind me saying, you are quite the pair. I mean, you ought to see yourselves. Makes me a little woozy just remembering it now. Well, up I go then. Bye!
Bye? Guess everybody knows. It's done, Mother. Father, the invitations. Personally sent to everyone with whom I've been in contact. So what do we do now?
Excellent, Zagreus. Congratulate him, Hades. On a job well done.
Persephone, how can you be so certain your request was executed to your satisfaction?
It's known as trust, Hades. Or faith. They're similar. Try one sometime. It'll be good for you. As for what we do next, why, we've a great big feast we must prepare.
This house is not a suitable location for such guests. Dionysus alone shall bring ruin to this place. Or... the faith thing that you said.
Yes, good. Now then, we have a lot of work to go around. So why don't we call everyone on staff and let them in on this, and dole out suitable responsibilities, all right?
right.
All right.
All right.
Thus did all of Olympus journey deep into the underworld, all together for the very first time. The Queen Persephone revealed herself in all her splendor, much to their surprise, and told them everything she indicated to her son. She eloped with Grim Lord Hades, she said, mothering a fire-stepping prince who sought to reconnect with his extended family. Hades and Persephone at first refused his wish, but so moved were they by his relentless struggles to the surface that at last they decided to heed their willful Zagreus and reach out, for his and everybody's sake. The Olympians listened to all this in stunned silence. Then Zeus himself began to laugh. "Welcome back into the family," he said. After the shock subsided, the festivities began.
I say, big brother, you and your better half put on a positively smashing night. It's a relief for all of us, knowing Persephone is safe and sound. And mother to as noble of a son as my good nephew there.
Well, little brother, the Queen and I, in turn, appreciate you all taking time out of your doubtless busy lives to come all this distance to my house. I'm certain it is very modest in comparison to Mount Olympus, but I trust that you were suitably entertained.
Oh, of course, Hades. Now then, farewell, and let us keep in better touch from here.
Farewell indeed, Lord Zeus.
When finally the great feast ended, all the Olympians returned to their mountain abode, fully satisfied. As for the house of Hades, it required thorough cleansing, from the rafters to the floor. Such revelry, of course, is unbecoming of the name of Hades and the fearsome reputation of the underworld. For if mortals were to have no fear of death, then they would have no fear of anything at all. A well-kept family secret, then, this would live on to be.
Whew. I'd say that went about as well as could have been expected. And the cleanup wasn't all that bad. For the most part.
Well, fortunate Uncle Zeus seemed to catch on right away and went along with it. But this whole elaborate tale you spun, I remember how hurt I felt when I found out Father lied to me about you. Now we're lying to Olympus. What if they find out? Even if they don't, I don't like it.
Zagreus, I may not be an expert, but here's what I've come to understand about how families work. At least our own. The thing is, how we speak to one another is even more important than the words we use. I think, deep down, everyone in our family knows this.
You're saying they all knew you weren't being perfectly honest and went along with it anyway? I guess the pomegranate thing in particular was a bit of a stretch.
The common ground in our family is that we want peace. Besides Ares, though even he would rather the conflict occur elsewhere. That elaborate tale, it's less a deception and more a concession. A way of saying, let's move on from the past and start anew. No hard feelings.
You don't have hard feelings? What about Father? What about Demeter?
Well, let's see. My hard feelings are nothing next to the joy of having my son in my life. Your father never imagined his relationship with me could be out in the open. And my mother, she's just glad I'm alive.
And Uncle Zeus is glad things didn't turn out worse for him. I get the sense he acts a bit impulsively at times and deals with the consequences later.
What can I tell you, Zagreus? We're family. You said it yourself to me before. We're stuck with one another. That any of us like each other in the slightest. It's a wonder and a blessing, I think.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Thanks, Mother. Think I'll be heading out again soon. See you when I get back.
Sounds good. I'll see you then.
How's it going, Skelly?
Haven't moved them? You must have had yourself a real bash with all those fancy gods and stuff. Could hear all the festivity from all the way out here. How was it, pal?
It went better than expected, all in all. I hope you didn't feel left out. It was a pretty limited guest list. Kind of a diplomatic mission, I would say. Not quite as good a time as it might have sounded from the outside.
Oh, don't you even worry about me there, pal. I much prefer the solitary life, and besides, when things are good for you, they're good for me. Glad everything worked out.
Same here.